We've got the boys on, MK and Johnny and Maury. How are you, boys?
Fantastic, legend.
Thanks for coming in today. We're looking forward to having a chat to you about all things.
Thanks for having us, mate.
Nice spot to have a chat anyway.
Yes.
Yeah, you like it? That underground looks like you guys down there.
Yeah.
I could see you guys sweating it out down there.
That's what I said to Jakey when we walked in.
Yeah.
I said, how good's it down here?
Yeah. That's where the sessions are. That's where it's
Mate,
at.
it's fantastic. We've got a little gym too at where we're training at Forestville.
Yeah.
It's much like that. Little
Yeah, is it
dungeon.
really?
Yeah. Just
Nice.
like old school setup.
Yeah.
You know, not much equipment.
Just hard yakka.
Yeah.
Just hard yakka. Bit of sweat.
But the Fijians train hard, bro.
Yeah, they do.
These guys look like they're nippy.
Yeah.
If I tried to play touch footy with them out there, I reckon they run rings.
Yeah,
around.
they're
Not
good
with
at
these new hockers though.
Listen, I don't. Yeah, the hockers are the ground. Listen, I don't give them too many raps, but touch football is
No, you
it's
can
their
see,
forte.
mate, they're
Yeah.
nippy.
Yeah, just
They remind me of Cliff Lyons. Cliff Lyons, and who else was there? There was another player
Another Manly
back in the
great,
day.
Yeah,
Another
great
great,
player.
Mate, Jakey used to spray me because
Right.
he used to make all my tackles. I was that good at touch. So.
yeah, mate. Go in, Jakey. Go in, Jakey. No, I have been, mate. What are you talking about?
Too good.
Yeah.
But twins, like, and obviously you guys played together, right?
Mm.
Just talking to Jake before you, off camera, and you played together. You guys met at Saints. You played, lower grades at the Manly Seagulls. Tell us what are the biggest challenges you guys have as playing rugby league, being twins, and coming through the grades together.
Yeah. I'll start because there was a good story when we played our first sort of serious under-15s development where they sort of split the halves and they play left and right. That was a huge awakening for us because we came through the grades playing together, pop up anywhere on the field, just throw a little play in there, under 6s to under like 13s.
Yeah.
You're pretty much out there, someone takes a hit up and then off the back of it you look for your brother or the guy that knows you the best, skip across field, try and find something, look like a legend, genius at local stuff, and you go through. Then when we got to the 15s, I remember I said to the coach, said, Johnny, you're going to play right, Murray's going to play left. And I had like a little tonguey, like I was like, what? How does that work?
Yeah.
And that was like the first sort of insight to rep footy and playing proper styles of footy. Look, eventually we got to link up and play from left to right, and it still worked out. But I think that was a big hurdle for us coming through because we were
100%.
twins.
Yeah.
We played touch together, we played league together, we played rugby together, and we could just make it up. But then we had to, think about structures, thinking about where we're getting to on the field, and then try and put it all together.
It's a bit different to union and touch, isn't it? Like, obviously, touch is extremely fast-paced. Union's a little bit slower. League's like a little bit of everything depending on the
100%.
momentum of the ruck. What did you do to combat that? Did you have a chat at half-time, or did it take a couple games for you to sort of get working together on the field?
Well, at that age or as we got older?
Yeah, as you went through.
I think the more and more you play, right? And then we obviously developed as players and got some pretty good coaching, I'd like to think.
Great coaches. eh?
So, in particular, Pricey was great for us, Jakey, at 20s.
Yep.
And we just sort of took nuggets from them legends and then try to apply it weekly and try and implement our strengths, which I think that's every kid or everyone developing to try and make it in whatever you're trying to do, NRL, Super Rugby. Just trying to work out where you can apply your strengths in the game plan, So, no, that was probably pretty big.
Yeah.
So being of like Fijian heritage, or obviously, I've been to Fiji a fair bit. The people are unbelievable. They're amazing. Like they're so welcoming. What was your family dynamic like? What was the influence like within your family?
That's so mum and dad actually split up when we were 2.
Okay.
So at a young age, but we were predominantly with mum. So we grew up on the Māori side. So our mum's half Māori, half Kiwi. So what happened to us is we sort of, like, Dad was there. Dad's Fijian. Dad was definitely there, but we weren't in the culture as much as we are now.
Yeah.
So nowadays, flip it, we're actually going, like I just got back from Fiji, and like you said, I've been probably 6 or 7 times now. Stayed in the village. Still learning for sure. But it's so good to go back and just, you know, get an understanding of what the culture is, how the people are. Just brings you back to earth.
Yeah,
Man,
that's a big one.
it's huge. I love it.
Is it a big grounding thing for you when you go back?
Definitely.
Yeah.
When I got back, it felt like weight off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And we're just, you know, not just relaxing in the village, drink some kava, you know, just the people, like the way they are, like there's just, I don't know what it is. It's just so inviting, so inclusive, you know, and they really care. And you just sit there, you can sit, like we're sitting there for hours just drinking kava, talking like, and nothing, I love the Māori side too, don't get me wrong, but it's just, when we go back to Fiji, you really feel that. And everyone who goes to Fiji, I reckon 100% of people I speak to, the first thing they say is, "Oh, the people."
Yeah, it's the best.
So good.
With the culture, what have you learnt from maybe in the last 5 years? You said that you're only just starting to learn it now. What's some stuff that you're starting to dive into with the Fijian culture?
Oh, mate, probably
Definitely language.
language would be one.
Yep.
Straight off the bat. But the family dynamics, you know, things that you don't take, you take it for granted here in Australia.
Yep.
Obviously that village lifestyle, which is fantastic. You know, you walk out the door and you got cousins and uncles and aunties left, right. And, you know, whereas here in Australia, sometimes you're travelling, sometimes you don't see them, things like that. You know, even just the way they sit and eat, and you know, it's very cultural if you've been brought up in Australia.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
But that's all the great stuff that me and Johnny loved, and like we said, we picked it up late, obviously, in the piece, but it's been fantastic.
That was kind of like Lonnie, you know, even when I went there with Kenny, and obviously I was fortunate enough to be around a lot of Fijians, and I was hanging out with them. You know, I got my hair cut at a barber there, and it's just the stories that you share. But what I loved about it, and even going to Thailand, you know, they're similar cultures, right? You look at these people, it's not like they live with much. They don't have much, but they're happier. It's like they have less. And I think what happens, and me being to Fiji, so last year, you know, well, probably in a calendar year, I went to Fiji 3 times, Thailand twice. And what I realised about those 2 regions,
Beautiful.
I felt at ease, I felt at peace. Like, even when I was there, I said to my family, you got to come here. It's hard because they don't want to go to Europe and that, but those regions for me, I walk away feeling more motivated. I feel free. I feel like I can be more creative.
Yeah.
Is that what you guys feel like coming back? You said like a big weight was lifted off your shoulder.
I think just that, like, because when you're there, there's no worries as well, and you sort of rub off on that vibe as well. So then you're not thinking about, you know, too much ahead. You're sort of present. You're in the moment. You're calm. You know, I think you're just happy with what you have as well. So then you're just willing to do more because you feel like you've got time, and you're not rushed, and you're just like, you know, you're just in the moment, and you're just moving nicely. Because before I went, I reckon I was like highly anxious, because I could feel it. Like I could feel that I was like, you know, worrying too much about 2 weeks away, 3 weeks away. Oh, what's coming up? I'm like overthinking, and you're not at a good spot, you know. So, yeah, when I came back, I said to Maury, I was like, mate, we need to go back.
Yeah.
Straight away.
If you love these conversations we're having on this podcast, because we're getting heaps of comments, and I want to thank every subscriber out there that's hitting the comments, hitting the like button, hitting the share button. But more importantly, we're going to take this to Thailand. The exact same thing we're doing with the people that we bring on, changing the world, changing the mindset, and making people become better. That's exactly what we're going to do. March 16 in Thailand. Hit the link in the bio. I want to see you there. Well, one thing we talk about a lot with a lot of the ex-NRL players is mental health. When you guys finished your career, did you guys go through this space where you struggled to figure out what you guys wanted to do? Obviously, when you go to Fiji, you know, you talk about this anxiety, and then it just comes down,
Yeah.
and then you know how to deal with it better.
Yeah.
Do you feel that, you know, maybe more ex-NRL players? Because I know when you went to Thailand, remember how you felt?
It was amazing.
It was like you could see things clearer.
Yeah.
Do you think like with more people, especially playing in the NRL, pressure, you know, you don't know whether managers and clubs are shopping you around. You don't know whether they're being honest with you to tell you, hey, listen, you're not going to be on my side, stringing you along. How much does that play on your mind going, I don't trust the system anymore? And then going to a place like Fiji, you said it brings that level of pressure down.
I think anyone in any sort of demanding business or sport would benefit from something like that. Because you know, if you're trying to be a high performer, which a lot of people are these days, I feel that downtime, or let's call it recovery time, or just getting your mental space in a good place, you know, it gets pushed to the side a bit compared to if you were to weigh it up with what you're trying to achieve as a high performer. Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
I think, yeah, you'd have to
It's necessary.
sign up.
The thing, like, when we started our business K Squared in 2018.
Yeah.
We retired from footy 2018.
Yeah.
So we probably should have had the time to have that little getaway and recoup.
Yeah, around that
I
time.
think it would have helped us. But on the other side of it is we just went deep in.
Yeah.
Like we just went, because we were garbos.
Yeah.
And then we were like, mate, I had 2 kids then.
Yeah.
We were finishing up footy. We didn't want to pick up bins for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
So
both had kids, 2 in
Both?
the oven,
Yeah.
2 in the oven,
Yeah.
2 in the oven.
2 in the oven waiting.
Preheating.
Yeah,
Preheating.
preheating away. And we sort of like, I just said to at that time we were cleaning the streets then.
Yeah.
So we went
Street
from garbos to street sweeper.
Yep.
We did that for a few years because it worked well with footy, part-time footy. You can do that, then go play footy in the arvos.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the body started to, you know, you get injuries, you get,
Niggles.
you know, time travelling out to Mounties every day. That was a bit torture
Yeah.
because we were on the beaches. So then we sort of looked at each other and we were like, man, we got to find something. And then we just went all in. We quit. We went back before we quit. Actually, 2018 at the start of the year, we went back to TAFE, and we got a sport development diploma.
Yeah.
Because Petro had a
He was an ambassador.
he was an ambassador
Yeah.
for a TAFE, and his course was sport development.
Yeah.
So anyway, we funded it ourselves, and we obviously got into it, and we did the full year of school again on our last year. So on our last year, we're going to work. Then from work, because we'd finish work at 11, because we'd start at 4 on the street sweeper. Then from there, we'd go to TAFE. Then we'd go to TAFE for 3-4 hours, and then straight after TAFE, we'd go to Mounties training.
That's a big carry.
Yeah.
Like when you were doing it, like we all go through our little reshaping parts of our lives and that sort of stuff. And as you're saying, you had kids, or you had kids or were having kids with your partners. What sort of pressure were you getting applied? Like were you sort of sitting, as you said before, you were having chats like, we can be doing more?
Yeah.
Is that sort of what led you into that? Because you've always had, like, in regards to rugby league, skill. So it's about using the skills that you have and then implementing it and being able to teach these other young people. Is that what K Squared's about?
That's it.
Yeah, that's
100%.
exactly it.
Yep.
Because we, like, when, you know, you go to year 12 and then everyone's going to uni, but then you think you're going to the NRL and you think you're going to, you play forever and become a commentator and then finish. You know what I mean?
Oh, the dream.
The dream, right? The dream. So you sort of like, you wasted your last 2 years at high school because you're just trying to make the schoolboys and you're just trying to do all the rest of it. So then...
Was that what your dreams were?
Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Then, Well, I was a schoolboy, and then out of the schoolboys, I signed with the Dragons. That's when I met Jakey. Maurice's neck was he broke his neck.
Yeah.
You know,
2004.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
wow.
we finished 2006.
Which is, I think it was another massive part of the story. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
So then, and then that's where we're at. So that sort of pushed us through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, with the kids and that, Jakey, a little bit more on the purpose side of it.
Yeah.
Like when we're having those discussions, it's more because we didn't really have that.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
That mentoring, that like we had mentors.
Mm.
Don't get me wrong, but to make it to that next level,
Yep.
do you know what I mean? Or the ones that we needed to get to where we wanted to go, we feel as though we didn't have them.
Yep.
Which was how K Squared
Started.
came about, really.
Because it is, there's a big market for it now. Because obviously rugby league's getting bigger. There's all types of sports out there these days. They're starting to. I'm starting to see a lot of ex-NRL players like Mullo. They're starting to get into it where they come and help these juniors. Because what I've noticed at junior rugby league, the coaching's not up to scratch. That's my opinion when I've gone and watched games. So to have guys like yourselves and the ex-rugby league players come in and want to teach these kids and help these kids to be able to reach their dreams, I reckon it's great.
Yeah, no, 100%.
The other side too is after we finished that development diploma, we went and got our wellbeing certificate. You know, Steve Johnson, he does the wellbeing cert anyway. It's part of the NRL now.
Yeah.
So everyone has a wellbeing officer. That was another cert that me and Maury fell into, which was fantastic for us.
Yeah.
That
really
also changed our direction.
Tell
too.
us about that certification.
So that was
2019.
yeah, 2019. We seen Steve at like a NRL. Steve Johnson, he's the owner of the Wellbeing Science Institute. We seen him at like a coaching development day.
Yeah.
And then I went to make a cup of tea at the coffee station, but he spoke before, and he spoke about a thing called the growth mindset. So we sort of crossed this path when we went and did the development, and we got the book. And that was another huge reason why we changed, was because we read a book by Carol Dweck, Mindset, and she talks about the growth mindset. So then I was making my tea, and I said, man, how good's that growth mindset? And he goes, you like it? I said, yeah, man, I love it. And then he's like, you should come do my course. And then from then, we went and did his course. A year or two later, qualified wellbeing specialist.
Good on you.
Learnt all the tools. We're probably the only two that paid for it off our own bat too, which was another huge sort of thing for us, because we didn't have much, to be fair. It wasn't a cheap course, that's for sure. And, but it changed a lot of things around our wellbeing as well.
I think back to the question you asked us before around, did you want to have, like, if we could have had time to sort of refresh and reset, I think that course was definitely the awakening, if you want to call it something.
Yeah.
Doing that.
What are some of the takeaways that you've taken that you're implementing now that you go, like, they're like light bulb moments going, wow, this is amazing?
For me, it was the growth and fixed mindset.
Yeah.
Because when I was with Jakey at the Dragons, and I'd say even like the junior stuff, I was in a fixed state most of the time. So if they talk about feedback, challenges, mistakes and effort, and how you look at those 4 areas. I used to be in feedback for review or video review. We're getting feedback. I'm putting up guards left, right and centre. Like, I don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm perfect. What? That's not right.
Yeah.
That was one thing. Challenges like fitness test and even nutrition to a degree. Like that's challenging if you don't eat certain foods. Getting your right calories, doing all the rest of that. I used to look at that as, I don't need that. What do I need that for? I've just played 20 years of footy. I've been one of the best players every year. What do I need to do that stuff now? And then that was like, for me, a huge awakening. Because when I reflected, in 2018 when we stopped, you reflect and you're like, what's doing? What's going on? What are you gonna get? What are you gonna do? You're gonna sweep the streets. And then it all sort of, when it all came together, then that was the light bulb moment. And then that was like when I said, mate, we've got to teach kids this. We've got to teach people this.
So the biggest thing is like how to take on feedback and reflection, and how not to take it to heart when you're getting the feedback that's probably not what you want to hear.
Correct.
Is that the biggest thing that you learnt on the growth mindset? Or
There's
is it?
a few. So So the two principles: believe any skill can grow, focus on the process of getting better. For me, if I try to any skill, and if I wasn't good at it straight away,
Disregard.
I'm not doing that again.
Not for me.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't do it.
Yep.
It's if I'm not a freak at it straight away, I can't. What? And then focus on the process. I used to just make stuff up and just do whatever, and it would work.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck it. That's interesting because everyone takes it differently with feedback.
Yeah.
I'm probably more the type where when I get frustrated, I know every day I'm like striving to be better. Doesn't matter what it is I do. Like I'm just focused on how I can be better.
Yeah.
Usually, if someone gives feedback, I get really pissed off. Not in a bad way, but I know that's the right feedback. And the next day I execute on that, knowing that when I get frustrated, I get excited now.
Yeah.
I go, I'm going to figure this out. Let me just go to sleep. I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah,
So it's a completely different concept to when I used to kick stones and go, F this, F that. It's like now, all right, I'm frustrated. I'm ticked off. I needed that feedback, but now it's time to really go for it. And I think, that is the one there where you can't be fixed. And like, remember when we were talking before, I said, look, there's a lot of modalities in this business here. I don't utilize all of it. But we do 85 classes a week. Yeah. And then we bought the cold tubs in, and we bought all these different things in for the different types of people that we have that come to the gym, from boxing classes to HIIT classes. But if I had a fixed mindset, I was always doing weights. That's what I started with.
Yeah.
And I always liked doing a bit of cardio, but none of this. And I had no idea about a child minding area. We've got a child minding area here.
Yeah.
But I remember when we, and before this gym, we'd never done classes, and it was only me and my brother that were employed, self-employed.
Yeah.
And then we had to employ all these people.
Yeah.
And then, what the fuck do I know about this shit?
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck this right up, aren't I?
Yeah.
And essentially, you start to go, there's layers to all of this. And then there's layers to the next level and to the next level.
Yeah.
And the more responsibility you want to take on, the harder the work gets, the greater the development of the individual needs to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at the growth mindset, what is your vision, and like how big do you guys want to get with K Squared? Because for me, what I understand about you two guys right now is like, mate, we're going to do absolutely anything and everything to better ourselves to help more people. Would that be correct?
Yeah, definitely. Mate, well, that's a good question. So we obviously want to explore the online world, because I think that's when me and Johnny talk about where we think things are going, the online avenue would be something for us to sort of head down. In regards to building a gym and trying to build our, let's call it a franchise, definitely plans for it. Right now, we're probably at a good stage in our journey, coming up to our 8th year. So the first sort of 3 to 5 years was teething and, learning business, growing our brand. Still are, obviously, never stop, but we're in a good spot now, business-wise. So it's definitely on the horizon. I think our next step is trying to get coaches. With what we do and trying to stay to our niche, we are looking for those guys that are not only footy, because I think people will assume that myself and Johnny are, touch, rugby league, rugby union, or whatever it is. But you come and do a session with us, and the first thing we hit you with is the growth mindset. And like I said before, it's only because it's something that I wish we had, And I was telling you about my story and how it sort of we bounce off each other now when we do, because we get to go do this sort of stuff for organisations and that now. So Johnny talks about his story, what you just heard, around the fixed mindset. And then I come and tell him about how I broke my neck and I was told I'll never play again. But we're identical twin brothers and grew up in the same home. Do you know what I mean? So it gives the kids or whoever we're talking to a great dynamic to go, hang on, this bloke's playing schoolboys, captain of Dragons, and this bloke is exactly like him, got told he'll never play again. And I just talk about not knowing the growth mindset. I didn't know I had the growth mindset, but I had to because I wanted to play, because of that purpose to play. Plus, I'm watching Johnny play every week, carve up, and I'm on the sideline like, "Man, I'm better than this guy."
Yeah, it's true, but you know what? Like, even listen, like, we've known each other since we're 18, right? And to sit here and every conversation we've had so far, when we're, you know, this stage of our lives where we're starting to lean into what we can be and what we are going to be. You know, you guys have yourselves to bounce off. I've got Mets to bounce off with these questions, because this is all new to me too.
Yeah.
You know, it's always something I've wanted to be a part of in regards to business. And I'm an open book. I love talking to people, you know. And what you guys are doing, you said 8th year into it. Think about that. What do you go back in hindsight? Do you ever go back and have a laugh? Because I know with myself, it's a laugh off sometimes when I go back. You see me in my prime when I was doing what I was doing off the field, you know, to what I do now. I look back at myself and go, fixed mindset. Yeah. No one can tell me. I know what I'm doing because I've got to a point off the back of ability. Couldn't crack the ceiling for a little bit, then sort of went through, but there were so many ceilings that I didn't show enough resilience, you know, in certain parts of my footy career and in life as a person. So what you are doing now, probably my question is, do you look back at growth? Not just individually, but as a business?
We probably don't enough, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I think we sort of do when we're talking and we go and do our presentations, and I think we don't actually sit there together and talk about it. We probably should. But we talk about a tool called gratitude all the time.
Massive.
So when you sign out of our training, you have to, first you got to score yourself on your sleep, your water, your nutrition, and your overall energy levels. And then after that, you have to write down one thing you're grateful for. Then you can leave our session. That's it.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's really cool.
Simple, man.
Yeah.
Just
Simple
teaches
but effective.
Teaches accountability too.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So we understand how good gratitude is and looking back and reflecting, but we probably don't do it enough.
Yeah.
to
So
ourselves.
nutrition, water, sleep.
Sleep, energy,
gratitude.
yeah,
So we call it the well-being compass. See, N instead of north, nutrition. E instead of east, energy. S instead of south, sleep. And then west, W, water.
Nice.
So it's a nice little sign off, and it's just a bit of a check in for yourself, and also get some good dopamine at the end of the session as well, just some free stuff.
Yeah. Now, I created this studio and this podcast for all our community, for our Tighter Fitness community, our Elevate community. Now, this is the best part. I also created the best gym in the world. This gym is like no other. I went A to Z. I wanted to make sure that I've got everyone covered at every angle, and that's why we have so many people, international guests. We get people coming from everywhere, the Gold Coast, everywhere across Australia. That's why Tighter Fitness is the gym for absolutely everyone. We do everything from boxing, Pilates, yoga, HIIT, pump, spin. But more importantly, we've got one of the best weight training facilities in the world. Our functional studios like no other. Hit the link in the bio. Come down to Tighter Fitness. Can't wait to see you.
Did you notice as you started to do stuff growth-wise, right? Did you start to understand that it's practically all mental? You know what I mean? Like, we're sitting here talking about growth mindset, and I know for myself in the journey I've been as an individual the past 4 or 5 years. That's the key. Yeah. Like, the ability can be taught, and life teaches us how to grow. Yeah. But as we start to grow into what we want to do, it all comes back to mindset and what we actually think we can do.
100%. That's the first thing.
That's our first pillar.
That's our starting.
Yeah.
Mindset.
Like you said, off
Jay,
the rank, mate, is upstairs. So it's how you think towards it. We always talk about the cycle, the positive cycle. So thought leads to a feeling leads to action leads to a result or progress. So if your first step is a positive thought, i.e. growth mindset or gratitude, that's going to lead to good feelings. That's going to make you take action. That's going to get you progress.
Excellent.
When you're helping the young players coming through, or and you're training, do you ever look at them and ask yourself, is it possible that we can help these individuals? Because sometimes
when you come at that
Yeah.
angle, if we're talking NRL, sometimes we do. If we're being honest.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, like I said, me and Johnny don't come at it from a footy point at all. Because as Jakey just said, we know it's mindset. And our belief, our biased opinion, I should say, we believe that it's mindset. So
And the off-cut habits that they get from training with us,
yeah,
regardless if they
make
are
it or
gonna
not.
make it or not, they're gonna get some great habits.
So you walk out, hopefully, with growth mindset, gratitude, understanding to check in on yourself with all those things we just spoke about,
Yeah.
and then
Training
training
physical
hard,
stuff.
whatever it is that you're going to do. So what normal average Joe, let's call it, if you're not going to be professional, doesn't want that.
You're technically giving them data for lifestyle skills, pretty much, how to be good people, young
Yeah.
men and young women.
That's why it's K squared sports style, Jake.
Yeah, I like it.
That's what our original thing was. We went, technically we wanted to go down our niche.
Yep.
So instead of a lifestyle, we called it sports style.
Yeah, cool. I like it.
Yeah.
K squared Kennedy times Kennedy.
Yeah, I picked up on that
Thanks,
one.
mate.
I picked up on that one.
Just checking.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
didn't do math like
Listen,
me.
yeah. Now I know why he's played touch, because Johnny hated defending. How did you get into touch? Let's share this story, because you played you were freaks, and when you played together, everyone knew you used to wear the socks and the headbands and that. I still remember. I never bagged you out about it, mate. But
Yeah.
how did you get into touch? Because it's something that I didn't actually really know about until
You
till
came with
boys.
us, yeah.
You know what I mean? I come down and watch, and I'm
Mate,
going, this is unbelievable.
Honestly, we used to hate it.
yeah.
Mum, because we were like footy, leg.
All our family, our whole on the Māori side and on the Fijian side.
Yeah.
20, 30 years ago, it's played touch,
Yeah.
soft.
Yeah.
Like that's how it was. Like especially in that
Yep.
culture, anyway. So we hated it
Yeah.
until we were about 14.
Mum forced us down there
Yeah.
on a Friday night,
Yeah.
this in your local stuff.
What did she see in yous? Like what?
I don't know.
Nah, I reckon I know.
Yeah.
She looked at, and because obviously we're not the biggest,
Yeah.
she was like, "Mate, go play touch, mate. You
Yeah.
guys get bashed every weekend." Like I think
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I reckon.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, mums
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
have that. She was like, I reckon she was like, "Mate, sick of seeing these two get bashed every weekend.
Yeah.
Go play some touch."
Yeah.
And I think when we finally got down there and we started to go all right, then obviously you change your feelings towards it.
Mm.
We were lucky there was a big touch family down there at Manly,
Yeah.
the Berrymans, that sort of took us under, and they sort of showed us how to play it properly.
Yep.
Because we were just,
Bit raw.
yeah,
Yeah.
just hackers, just
Yeah.
throw it around, and
Yeah.
Fiji style.
Bit of
style.
Fiji sevens. out
Fiji
there.
7 style, just throw it around, goosey step, whatever.
Yeah.
But then we sort of got good mentors, and then, they taught us how to do it properly, and then I suppose we're lucky enough to sort of just adapt and,
Played with some really good players too.
yeah,
That went on to kill it in touch footy, and we all grew up together too.
yeah.
So that helps when you're in that environment. As you know, if you get with a good crew, a good example, I guess, is the Panthers right now. All those boys came through together,
Yeah.
sort of like us with the touch. We came through with a good crop, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's big in Manly, eh? The touch tourneys and
Touch
that, they're
is
massive.
huge.
I always remember you used to talk about.
Yeah, it's it's the participation on the Northern Beaches. Is
So
huge.
touch is bigger than Oztag then.
Huge,
Yeah.
Yeah,
heaps
huge.
bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Heaps
wow.
bigger. In tag and touch,
Different.
yeah. But me and Johnny have just started to get into the tag,
Tag.
probably like only 5 years ago, and we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. Like, if I'm picking right now, I actually like it better.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a big call.
Yeah, I know, and
Yeah.
people will probably.
It's only
like-
because we're getting slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
No,
You read the game.
you
a
know
bit
what I
better.
mean?
Yeah.
Because tag's not as
It's
quick as touch.
Yeah.
yeah,
But it's still quick enough.
Yeah.
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 But
I think that's probably
there's
it.
the kicking aspect as well
That's
for
right.
a tag.
Yeah.
So we also like that, and then because you need, when you get older, you need
Yeah.
more strategies to get around these kids.
Yeah.
But at touch, did you just play at a decent, like at a high level, right?
Yeah. So
How far did you just go?
Say it.
we were lucky. So Maury broke his neck and was coming back, and then he was a part of the Australian squad when he was like 17.
Yeah,
But I was at the Dragons, and then so it was just no go for touch. Can't go to touch. That's the the other thing we probably should share as well, Maury got picked up for the Dragons.
That's a good story.
Yeah, you tell it, Maury. You tell it.
So yeah, I broke my neck, right? So out of the game for 3 years. Wasn't meant to play again. I just hammered Mum for years. Like, Mum, can I play?
I'm all right.
Dad said it's sweet. Johnny's
Throw him under the bus.
yeah.
Teach.
Johnny's still playing. Like, you know. And she was like, oh, mate. Anyway, Chimesy was our manager,
Yep.
Steve Gillis.
Stephen, he's good
So-
mates at Mets.
Yeah, good mates.
So Chimesy was looking after me and Johnny, and then I think he caught wind that PJ Marsh got a clearance because he'd done his back pretty bad from some dock over these ways too.
Yeah.
Anyway, got the clearance to play again after doing 3 years of rehab and which counters back to that growth mindset stuff, that piece, the taking feedback, the effort, the challenge to let alone walk to play again, and which links well with our story, right? Anyway, I got an invite to play in a
Media
fundraiser, like a media
It was a media- 'cause
fundraiser,
of
Touch Day,
Fox Sports News.
and all of Chimesy's boys got invited, and me and Johnny were in there. And
Touch.
it was
Yeah.
touch. It was a touch thing. I was like, oh mate, let me just
Get straight in there.
Right up your alley.
Yeah. Anyway, we went there. I was with Fox Sports just launched that year, and it was just luck of the draw. Like Johnny went with someone. Timmy Maltz was there.
Yeah.
Who else? I think Jakey Friend was there. There's a few boys
yeah,
there, and we all just got divvied up. I was the only full blown touch head, but
Yeah.
these guys were leagueies, right? So I'm licking my lips. I'm like, oh, this is me.
Yeah.
Anyway, we ended up winning it. And on the grand final of Fox Sports, because Fox Sports wasn't big then, right? Like, they put our highlights up of the fundraiser
Yeah, right, yeah.
on the thing. Anyway, we won it. The highlights go up. We go back to our dad's house the next day. We're sitting there having a yarn. And Johnny gets a phone call. He's Steve Price, the 20s coach. Johnny answers the phone. He's like, Pricey. And he goes to Johnny, why are you playing touch, mate?
Wow.
Because I was injured at the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wasn't meant
Yeah.
to be doing anything. I
Yeah.
was off feet, just
Yeah.
And then he just
And anyway, all I can see is Johnny on the phone.
Yeah.
And Johnny's just like, yeah. Nah, mate, it's my twin brother. No, it's my identical
Pricey
twin
wouldn't
brother.
believe
Wow.
that.
I promise. Because remember, I'm a myth. Like,
Yeah.
Johnny's doing all his things and,
Yeah.
doing his journey. So I'm just a forgotten twin that no one really knows anyway.
Yeah.
And then Johnny finally gets him to sort of listen to him after getting sprayed. And then Pricey just put it straight on him and goes, yeah, we'll bring him to the trial. And it just happened to be that I got my clearance the week before to play league again.
Wow.
So if you law of attraction, that sort of stuff, it was just, that was my time. And then went down to the trial in a few weeks. A few weeks later, we were late as
Fiji time.
Fiji time.
Wow.
Probably asleep. these days.
I missed the
Jeez.
warm up. It was like a trial format. So Jakey and Johnny didn't have to trial. The contracted boys were big dogging it on the side.
Oh.
And I was just shitting bricks, if I'm being honest. First one back and ended up going all right. And yeah, that was the story
Wow.
to get
we
back
got
into
in
the Dragons.
So then you get back in the Dragons and you can't play touch footy again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then fast forward 2 years ago, so we retired, and then we ended up playing State of Origin touch.
Wow.
So we said no all that time, and then we were lucky enough we were still going all right,
Yeah.
and we debuted at 33.
Mad.
33 men's opens.
That's good, eh?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
it was cracker. It was
Yeah.
actually so good.
Yeah.
Really good experience. Something that we probably wanted to do all the time, but we couldn't because of league.
Yeah.
But then lucky enough to get the call up and went and played. It was so good.
Now, I know the story about your injury, right? But I think it's important, if you feel comfortable talking about it,
Yeah.
just for the young people and people out there.
Mm.
What was that like for you? Like, as an individual, like you were, what, 15, 16?
Yeah, 15.
And to have, you said before you didn't think too much of it, then you get an X-ray and they say, mate, you're done.
Yeah.
what are you thinking at that time? Like, what's sort of going through your head? Like, let alone they're saying you can't walk, all these sorts of things.
Yeah.
How did you take that on board?
Mate, at first, obviously, just pretty rattled. Just great. It was like this scenario, but I was just sort of lying in the bed, right? All the family around, and at the time, you're not thinking like clearly.
Yeah.
Obviously, all I was thinking about was, I'm not playing footy again.
Yeah.
Because that was the first thing they said. They said you'll be lucky to walk out of here, and you won't be playing contact sport ever again.
Wow.
And I was like fully rattled, because as Johnny said, when we were coming up, in our brains anyway, we had, the NRL dream, the dream, and obviously I didn't wake up that day thinking I'm gonna break my neck. And to further on your question, Jakey, with young fellas, I think they can learn a lot from that. So I think it's just from that I took away the family support. I don't know if I was naive in the fact that I never actually thought in my head that I would never play again.
Yeah. Even when the doctor said it, I remember me saying out loud, "No, that's not true."
Yeah.
Straight away.
Yeah.
I was that naive and just probably a little bit of uneducation too, to be fair.
Yeah.
And just fully solely in deep with footy.
Yeah.
And you just put up this wall straight away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Moz could feel my energy as well, but he probably,
Yeah,
I was the
I
only
Him
one.
and- Johnny and Dad were the only ones in the back,
Yeah.
and they were like,
You'll be right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you'll be right.
What was that process like? So you say you're out of the game for 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
After, I'd imagine, I was very fortunate with rugby league. I had sustained injuries, but I never got cut open. I had some head trauma from getting knocked out or making tackles. Just what part of rugby league is. The 6-month mark, the 12-month mark, the 18. Like, what were those marks like for you? Was there any doubt? Like you're saying now, I was always going to come back, but surely at times a little bit of doubt crept in. A bit of soreness, all that sort of stuff.
You know what was lucky for me, Jakey? I had Johnny there, but I also played touch.
Yes.
So it sort of fulfilled me.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I didn't really take my foot off the pedal in regards to thinking, I'm not going to play again.
Yep.
I did accept it. I'll be honest. I accepted that I wasn't going to play again.
Okay.
Like after a while.
Yep.
Because Mum was pretty adamant, like, mate, you've been blessed.
Yeah. Yeah,
Just-
I can see that.
Just be grateful. But 6-month mark, I was still in a neck brace. 12-month mark, I was just got my neck brace off. At the 18 and that, I was just focused from then. I started doing my own weights. Nothing crazy, but just trying to get strong again.
Yeah.
As Johnny mentioned, I really dove into touch, and I got into the Aussie men's squad for a trial. That was great. Sort of kept me motivated. We were lucky enough to win a few big touch tournaments as well in that journey. So, yeah, I didn't really have time to not think that I wasn't going to play.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I think what would have helped is when your dad was there and he didn't accept it, and your brother didn't accept it.
Yeah.
It made you feel like it's not a big deal, and even if you thought you weren't going to play again, it didn't matter because you already accepted that. You know what? I'll probably play again, but if I don't, it's all cool.
Yeah.
I was just discussing this. I just had a mate here who was one of the first kickboxers in the country, and I was just talking to him. He's 52 years old now, and he was just telling me a story about when he was a kid, and I think his the family had problems, when they came from overseas. They're immigrants. The first couple of years, they couldn't bring him up, and they had to send him away, and brought him back, but he didn't know because he was too young. And we were just talking about, and I think I was talking to Jake, I'm a Wog, I'm from Turkey. Our parents, it's like nothing's a big deal. Just get over it. Yeah. It's almost like that, get over that attitude. Yeah. And I feel that attitude helps a lot. because then the family supports that attitude of getting over it.
Yeah.
It's almost like they're on the bandwagon of supporting it, and then you feel like, you know what, this doesn't feel so bad. And so, in your family, did they ever make a big deal out of any of these things, or they were like, you know, your mum like, that's enough, man, don't play. Dad, yeah, you'll be sweet.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Definitely.
Mate, 100%. I think that's why Maury came back, because it was just like water off a duck's back. We just move on. Yeah, Maury's broken his neck. Sort of looked at it like an ACL or something, I suppose, and just went, yeah, he'll get stronger. He'll get better. We'll move on. We'll punch through.
Yeah.
So, you know, like you said, it's a lot like that in the Pacific Islander Māori
That's
culture
right.
too. It's the same thing. You sort of, you know, setbacks are part of life.
Yes.
It's just, you know, even we just went back for our grandma passed away in Fiji. The way they celebrate
Life.
life and death is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a positive
Reinforcement.
yeah, it's so good. Like that's the only thing I was talking about when we came back. As sad as that sounds, Grandma passing away, it was such a good experience for us. Fantastic.
Was that Teek's mum?
Yeah.
Yeah, she
You
used to live in Manly, eh?
Yeah.
I met her a couple.
Yeah, you did.
So did she move back to Fiji?
No, we
Nah,
took her.
We took her back.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that
And
was in
yeah, just
September.
yeah.
That was in September.
It's funny because I look at, you know, we were talking to Lonnie and how much he loves his Fijian culture and what it means to him. I was looking at the comments and some people are going, like, not all of them, most of it was positive.
Yeah.
But some people were going, mate, you were born here. Why are you turning your back on Australia?
Yeah.
And I think it's hard, like, this is a great country, right?
Fantastic.
It's an amazing country, but I think it's lost its way in terms of embracing these other cultures that they could have embraced and learnt from to utilize that strength for this country in itself. And as multicultural as this country is, it's not embraced as much as it should be to help others.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big thing because, you know, when we're talking to Lonnie, how he feels about, you know, Fiji. Like even when you went to Thailand, how you feel about, and you're from here, you know, you're part Croatian too. I won't hold that against you.
The Croat.
But the Croatians got the same thing.
Yeah.
It's this culture that means something. And I think in Australia, it's not about bag. I was born here. It's not bagging it. My parents came here for a better life. But it has this element where it's missing. And like when you look at mental health, when you look at all these things that we have in this country, we can look at cultures like the Fijian culture, the Thai culture, all these different cultures, and learn so much from it, from that aspect.
Definitely.
And I see a lot of people with you know, mental, you know, not mental issues, but what society's brought and the pressure it's put and the anxiety that exists in a lot of people. I'm seeing it more, especially through this podcast, whereas before it was like, man, just get over, like how I was brought up, get over it, man.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah.
And that works, believe it or not, because imagine you're told over and over, get over it, just move on, get over it, move on, get over it, move on.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's like, that's how you were trained. But not every culture's that.
Yeah. I think like getting over it and then having something in front of that as
That's
well.
right.
That's the key. Because like if you say get over it and then like they don't have anything to look forward to
100%.
or chase or something like that, it's hard to get over it, right?
Yep.
But if you've got goals and you've got aspirations, if you get a setback, it's all good because you can get over it because you've got that goal still to chase. And then you keep moving forward.
I hated it when my mum used to say it to me. I actually hated it. I go, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah.
But then I actually did hate it.
Yeah.
But I just kept thinking about it because I kept seeing all these different issues people had, especially when you own a gym like this and you're helping so many players, like individuals and members.
Yeah.
You get to see, you know, everything's different. And my wife does it to my kids.
Yeah.
And it actually irritates me more. She goes, fucking, well, give them a plan, man. Get over it and do what next?
Yeah. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because I felt like when my mum was saying it to me, it was like I was going against my mum. I go, fuck, what do you know? But when you start to realise it's that repetitious part of them saying it, they've almost trained you without thinking about it. It was almost this thing. But like you said, you have to have some goal, because in life, if you can create or have more value for others, you feel like you have more value to give. And the more value that you can give, the more important you feel. And I think people want to feel like they're important.
Correct.
And if they feel that, then all of a sudden they go, well, I have, purpose on this earth. And I think that's the main thing, whether you're playing rugby league, whether we're doing this podcast. And when we started, we had hardly anyone watching us or subscribing. Now we've got people in the street. Last week we had a guy that goes, mate, I love what you're doing in mental health. We're not doing nothing in mental. We're not. We got people that come on that talk about mental health, and we're open to that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the main thing. And you start with 1, 2, 3, and then you start to see this, momentum build. And what I love about you guys is, hey, we're giving you the tools. If you got mental issues, we're giving you the tools to feel the purpose that's necessary for you. Do you guys? I want to ask you this question. In business, is looking at it the same way as this growth mindset of going, because I know every time I bring something on in this business, I have these layers in my head of what's necessary and what's going to keep the team motivated and keep pushing them forward by adding the skill sets that's necessary for them. So I know at every point, whether it be accounting, whether it be marketing, whether it be sales, I know what it's going to take.
Yeah.
Do you guys look at the whole business side of things, of where you're taking your business the same way?
Yeah, because the thing is, where we're at now, we're at that stage. So we're going to have, like, for us, the next stage is going to be pretty big for us, because like Maurice said, we're in a good spot right now. But for us to expand and scale, we're going to have to apply that growth mindset, start to look at the different challenges that will come up, and then obviously hiring, like what you said for here. I think that's going to be us. So when you started with just you and your brother, and then you went to this next level of hiring people, that's where we're at. So we're going to be going through that space in probably the next 6 to 12 months, and scary but excited as well, because it's going to be a new spot for us, and I suppose we'll just keep learning and growing.
Where are you at the moment? Because I spoke to you last time. You're in schools, then you do things outside school hours, that sort of stuff. How did that eventuate? How did you get? Because that's big to be involved in school curriculum, especially with sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How did you sort of get yourselves into that pipeline?
Well, the first sort of let's call it 3 months, me and Johnny were still living off our footy money. Let's just say that, and we were just talking, waiting for people to come through the door, type thing.
No knocks.
Anyone?
The door's open and no one's walking through.
What? I thought everyone wanted to do this. No. But then we got an opportunity, a sliding door moment, you can call it. The local school, Narrabeen Sports, they were ready to let go of their rugby league and rugby union program, and it's a sports school on the beaches. They had 9 kids there, and they wanted to get me and Johnny in there, not as K-squared, but they pay us as coaches, right?
Yep.
We said, oh man, that's still the same thing that we want to do, and they were happy for us to, leverage from them as well. Do you know what I mean? You can coach, you get to know the kids. If they want to do any extra stuff with you guys, then
that's unreal.
So be it.
That was
cool.
Good, yeah.
So we went all in on the school, and won the clock forward probably 4 years. We built that academy to 90 kids.
Wow. Good on you.
Because
mad.
it's
It was
opt-in.
Opt-in, parents, you have to sign and pay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they don't have to do it.
Yeah, they get to pick if they want to do it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, we got the program into a good spot, and then from there, our one-to-ones, which we only pretty much do now, so one at a few more years forward. Due to COVID, everyone wanted to still train, but you could only train one-to-one. You'd know.
Oh, fuck, do I know about
Mets
it?
didn't go through it much.
So,
Fuck.
so
They were watching me like
me
a
and
hawk.
Johnny were obviously wanted to get like into the one-to-one space because we felt by this time we worked out that all the academy stuff's great and all that sort of stuff, but if you really want to see that person develop in whatever their chosen sport is, one-to-one is where we see the most value. So due to COVID, we went from, I think we probably had like 5 to 10 one-to-one clients. We're doing 90 sessions a week in COVID.
Wow.
And then that's when we just took off. 2019, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then,
It was hectic.
we were doing 90 one-on-ones a week.
Jeez.
And hour sessions?
45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
So you were sharing that load though.
Yeah. So 45.
We
yeah.
were
45
cooked.
each, but
We
still-
done it for 3 months.
Yeah.
Still
We were dead.
mentally, man.
Yeah.
Mentally.
You need like
So we're
a
doing
therapist.
10 a
straight
day,
after.
10 sessions,
Yeah,
sessions a day.
Yeah,
Our
nice.
mates were bringing us lunch on the run in between clients.
Wow.
But, you know, when you're at that level, when you're just starting,
You got to do
mate,
it.
you do whatever it is.
Mate, I
to-
remember after COVID, there was only 4 of us working. And I never forget, I'm thinking, I've got to do every hour of every day for at least 4 weeks before the rest of the team come back. So I'm working 7 days a week. And then people started asking for personal training because I was the only trainer.
Yeah.
So now I'm doing 35 sessions a week,
Yeah.
working every hour,
Yeah.
vacuuming and cleaning the gym. And then they go, can you do some of the classes as well, mates? I'm doing 15 classes, 35 sessions, plus working every hour. They go, how you doing? I go, I don't know.
Yeah.
You just
You just
punch
you-
through it.
That's it.
what you realize is you can actually do, when your back's against the wall, you can do more than you believe you can. And I feel like sometimes to get the most out of yourself, and you talk about the growth mindset, if you can believe your back's against the wall and you got to do the hours, you can actually push the levels of what you can actually do. It's like playing rugby league, right? Like they're pushing the effort levels. It's the small efforts that no one sees that makes the biggest difference. And you know when you're getting those effort levels out, they're actually very, very hard and difficult to do. Getting those 1%ers right all the time. Like, you've got to be focused, you've got to be on, you've got to be ready. And a lot of the times when you're building a business or building a career, it's those extras that you have to do when no one's watching that matters the most. And I was just doing it, and I remember my manager said, how are you doing all that? I go, mate, they're just asking. I can't say no.
Yeah.
And that's what I believe, that those tough times that you've gone through, sometimes you have to go into those pain points that creates a resilience to take action. And like sometimes, like in growth, you have to delve into that place, because if you get comfortable, and I've been comfortable in this, I've been doing it for 27 years. I remember where I've been comfortable, it hasn't worked for me. It hasn't worked for me. Doesn't mean I don't have great moments, but we have mad laughs on the different chats.
Yeah.
You know.
He's
Pretty
not
funny.
that
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny.
No,
But,
that's
like,
right. Yeah.
The biggest, like, believe God gives us opportunities. They're just not what we think they are. You know, so you guys wanted. I know for myself, certain opportunities in my life, I've had to do things where I was like, I thought it would just be given to me. No, like, it's there for you,
Yeah.
but you got to go do it.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what I mean? He's asked, I want to do one-on-one stuff. They're, okay, here's 50 hours a week each for
Yeah.
you. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Then you do it. Then all of a sudden, you know, you're thriving now. Like,
Yeah, so we got the one-on-ones part now, and
Yeah.
then we're also we do a few schools and organisations now where we go around, depending on what the school needs, whether it's footy skill, but we get a lot requesting mindset, obviously. and
Yes.
Obviously, you heard our story. We just share the growth mindset and talk about our story and what we learned from it, and that's where we're
Wellbeing
at.
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're with Gold College as well.
Yeah.
We actually were meant to do strength and conditioning, but because we come at it with that holistic approach and wellbeing being a big part of it, we actually, our first half of the set was it was a 2-hour session in the gym. The first hour we were in the classroom with the kids.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Yeah, they killed it.
Yeah.
Like, they loved it.
Man.
They loved it so much they can't wait for us to come back for term 3.
Yeah.
But that wasn't part of our proposal.
Yeah. Just sort of happened.
It sort of just happened.
Mm.
And then we went, now it's always going to happen like that, because the tools that they take away from that is just, immense.
The ability to be able to teach people, right? It's funny, our minds want information, but when you cram it with things it actually doesn't resonate with, that's when people disengage, right?
Massively.
So for you to guys be in the school that, and you know how you know you're winning? I want to do that. I want to do that. The young people are making the choice for themselves because they see its benefit. It's going to bring benefit to their lives, which is unreal. And with that, do you see change gradually with the young people? Like,
The feedback has been crazy.
yeah,
So we went to Casino last year, Casino High.
that's
I know
in
exactly
the Gold
what
Coast.
that
Yeah.
is.
It's on the Gold Coast.
I was going to Nim when I drove through.
It's
drove through
yeah,
there.
just on the
I had
on
a
the
pub at
coast there.
Casino. I remember it vividly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I was going to Nimbin. That's why.
Yeah.
Like I could see it clear as day, bro.
So
If you said to me about Casino, I go, mate, I remember going through there.
yeah, so
The steakhouse on the left when you drive through.
It's like a little pub, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
So
we
we
stayed there.
we went there for the AECG. So we work for that organisation, and we went up there because there's a high Indigenous population there.
Yep.
A lot disengaged.
Mm-hmm.
So it was right up that alley. And when they said, "Do you guys want to go there for 2 days?" we were like, "Yeah, 100%."
Yeah, so,
So we went in and we did exactly what I just spoke about: wellbeing tools, strength and conditioning. And the feedback from the head teacher up there has been, they've been continuing to go to the gym. They've been continuing to check in on all their wellbeing compass. Like, to hear that for these kids, that when you get there and you see them, you're half thinking, oh man, are they going to take this on? You know what I mean? But for us to be in there and, dive into their sort of, their areas and stay there for 2 days with them and just be with them and, give them some nuggets and do some stuff and train with them. And them to still take it on and still be using it now, that's huge.
the difference is you're offering them something. You're not telling them to do something.
Yeah.
That's how I feel we respond. When we get offered something, then we got to figure it out. If you're getting told what to do, see you later. I've stopped listening. Because I don't want to be told. I want to be taught. Then I've got to go teach myself. So that's a massive part of it. When you go up to those places, as you said before, that's going straight in the deep end because you got it's all new data. It's all new data for you guys as well. How they're going to receive the information we're going to give.
Yeah.
What's been your biggest win you feel when you've gone to these places?
Mate, when we come home,
Yep.
afterwards, the feeling.
That
Straight
connection
away.
too.
Okay, when we're driving back or going to the airport, how good was that?
Mm.
Man, you just feel like you've made some sort of impact on a kid's life, Like
Acts of service.
just change something, you might have changed one little, 1 degree in their thought process. That, and you just know when you're on the drive home, you're like, mate, that was cracker.
Because we talk about the ripple effect too. That's one of our big pieces at the end whenever we do these sorts of things, Jakey. So what the ripple effect is, you need to go home now and tell a family member about, what you learnt today.
Unreal.
You went and listened to 2 lookalikes carry on for a bit, but
You
tell
don't look
them.
that much along.
Tell them what you learned. You know what I mean? Because you're actually going to help them. You know what I mean? Or if you see, the people that we don't know way better than us, and they'll probably talk to you. Now you have some tools to go tell them.
You're actually subconsciously teaching them connection, right? So when you were talking before, right, Australia or Western society, a lot of stuff is based around disconnect. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
Culture, how we spoke before, you go back to the homeland. You feel connected, right? Australia has that. We do have that. It's just been put into different avenues. People look at Australia as a drinking place, wild and all that. And I see that because that's embedded in us from, major sponsors or all those sorts of things, yeah? We're starting to see, and Matt spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, we're starting to find our way a little bit more in regards to culture, whether it's training, sport, all these sorts of things are starting to create connection, right? Once we we understand we're all connected in some way. You guys have your way of doing things, and everyone else has their own way of doing things. The more we can share information in regards to betting ourselves and benefiting ourselves, you'll start to see the shift. And you're already doing it within schools.
Yeah.
That's where it starts, the foundation of the young people.
Mm.
And off the back of that, it just grows.
That's the plan.
And you know, where do you guys see? You know, he's at 36, yeah, 36.
36.
What does the next 5 to 10 years look like for you guys?
Mate, you go, Johnny.
I just think us building, expanding, like what I said before, just, you know, hopefully right now we're working out of the club that we coach. So we coach Forestville Ferrets A grade and the under 18s. So the payoff for us is we get to use the facilities and we put a gym in there and that's fantastic. I'm not saying, but it'd be good to get to like a space similar to this. And then, you know, moving on and trying to talk about what more like e-commerce, online stuff. I think definitely. And then I think me and Maury as well, we want to try and get into investment properties as well.
Yeah.
So I think for us, that's our sort of next 5 to 10 years is trying to build that to then go into that sort of area as well.
No.
Definitely.
But yeah.
No, it's good. You know, I mean, it sounds like you guys understand where you got to go, and what I love about it is it's pretty much the compass that most people should be looking at. You know, from the foundation you guys are building, and what I love about, you know, before when you talked about, you know, have you had enough water, have you had enough sleep, have you eaten right? It was funny because I was in Vegas last year in October.
I don't know if Vegas goes with all that stuff. But yeah.
No, it was actually at a health. He was there. He was videoing it, and she was like an online coach, and her level of entry for any client is that.
Yeah, okay.
That's the level of entry.
Yeah, nice.
No training. She goes, I'm not even talking about training. I want to get these 3 things right. If I get those 3 things right, we're ready for the next phase.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it. It's simple.
Baseline.
Simple. Anyone can do that. And it's the baseline of where we're going to get you to next. Yeah. And I don't know, I guess the final, what I would like to ask is like, what kind of legacy do you guys want to leave on this earth? You know, you talk about Fiji, you talk about culture, you talk about growth mindset. What do you, like for me, I want to be able to leave the world in a place where people can take away the frameworks and the skill sets that I've given them, and have, like we're creating videos for all different parts of the business so people can sell all those different products. And those products there are to help people. And those videos can live forever. They're going to be transcribed, so it helps individuals in this business. But more importantly, giving people like this compass of this calendar that you need for every part of whatever you want to create, whether it be business or whatever. But I want to be able to create that, so, you know, people are going to still depend on coming to see me, but I want to have something there for them, because right now it's just in my mind, in my head, what I do. Yeah. But I want to put it out there. And then, you know, I want them to live forever. And I was talking to a couple of mates, and they go, you know, you put out a lot of content out, you know, do a lot of videos. I said, well, and I heard this a while back, and it was, those videos are going to live forever, you know, and the better the quality of the video, my kids, grandkids, and their grandkids are going to see it, right? And unless you put yourself out there, well, no one's going to see it. But wouldn't you like to know about your great-great-grandparents? Wouldn't you like to see a video of them somewhere?
It'd be so good to see.
You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be great to see them and go, wow, man?
Because you are, like, when you get older, you start asking those questions, right?
Yeah, because I didn't know my
Yeah,
grandparents.
no one,
I never had an opportunity to ever see any one of my grandparents.
Wow.
You know, 3 of my grandparents weren't even alive when I was born. And my grandfather, the final one that was living, died when I was 8, but I never got to see him.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even know that. Yeah. I don't even miss that. I don't even know what that's like.
Yeah.
Right? So there's no emotion attached to it, but it would have been good, like, if there was the ability where they could have themselves on camera, and I can see this in you guys, that's why I'm asking you guys. Like, what's that legacy look like for you guys?
we definitely do something around our purpose and our why. Do you know what I mean? Just to make sure that if our kids can have some of those values or lessons, or me and Johnny call them nuggets, to pass on, and they stand the test of time. I don't feel as though me and Johnny are teaching the kids anything new. It's been out there. It's just making sure that they understand it and they know how they can use it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, some really to do with that, with our purpose, our nuggets. Hopefully, our sons and Johnny's daughter can take on the reins as well at K Squared, which would be fantastic.
Definitely, just sharing the same message, and it would be good, like, in 100, 200 years, just jump on YouTube and go, yeah, that's his great granddad. Have a look at him.
Yeah.
He did it.
He's got a few silvers, but he's all right.
Yeah.
Carries on a little bit.
Yeah, come to expect that, don't you?
Yeah. No, but I like that legacy and videos and moving forward.
That was our first thing too, videos. Big Lons jumped on a video with me and Johnny to sort of help us out, and he's running a few lazy lines for us.
Yeah, cool.
Got in the pocket.
Yeah, nice.
So he's looking nice, the big fella.
Cliff Lyons.
Yeah. Cliff Lyons.
I'll tell you what, he as a public speaker now is much better than he was when he was playing the game.
Yeah.
He gets asked to do so many chats now.
I bet.
Obviously,
Mate,
'cause
he's better than
Yeah.
he's better than he's ever been. I
Yeah.
watched this one on Manly, just the pre-season, and he's getting out there.
Is
now
that
to
with
chat.
Beaver?
Yeah, that was Beaver. He was much better than Beaver.
Yeah.
He had a bit of passion behind it.
Yeah.
That was good. No.
Awesome.
Nah,
Mate, thanks, man. Like, I mean, it's inspiring to hear this part of your story, especially about the growth mindset when you overcoming your injuries. I feel like I walk away every time I do a podcast, for as long as I've been in the business, learning something new. That's what I love about it. I walk away, didn't learn nothing from Clayton, but this week. Doesn't even know how to tie his shoelaces. But I feel like, I feel like I feel you guys more, and I've watched a few of your videos, and when you told me we're from Fiji, I just feel like I'm much more connected to you guys now. But even with Joshy Miller, man, when I watch those videos back, because you're in the moment and you watch it and you go, I feel connected to this guy.
Yep.
You know, that's what I love about it, and I feel connected to you guys, and I thank you guys for coming out here today. Jake was talking a lot about you. He was giving you a lot of raps.
I thought that your stories would resonate with Mets, and we'd be able to have a good conversation. So thanks for coming on, boys. We appreciate it. And if you ever need a hand with anything, give me a call. Not so.
And follow K Squared, man.
Thank you.
Follow K Squared.
Yeah.
If you haven't followed them, follow K Squared.
Get on 'em.
We've got to show some appreciation too. Thank you for letting us, talk and share our story, and to come here into your gym and talk to the boys was fantastic. All we need is a carver bowl and a cup of
I'd
crack.
love to have a carver
Next
bowl.
time.
It's long weekend, bro. I fucking need a carver
There you
bowl.
go.
You can drive home.
We'll have to
mate.
get an Uber home.
I live around the corner. My pick me up.
Sweet.
I got my
RBT.
hockers on. I can walk
alright.
anywhere.
We'll bring it
Don't
next
put
time.
that up there.
Thanks, boys.
We're going to have carvers.
Yeah.
We'll come to there. John, can they make it here?
Yeah.
No. Okay,
They've
cool.
got
We're
it.
going
He's
to
just
come.
sorted
Yeah,
out.
we got it.
They'll
We'll
sort
get
it
you-
out.
Okay. Clean water, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll sort it
You can go, top
Top
shelf,
notch water.
filtered water.
out. Our
mate.
dad's 60th, just a quick one before we shoot.
Yeah.
We went to Ringa Golf Course. Our cousin, on the Māori side,
Yeah.
he loves carver.
Yeah, loves it.
Loves it.
Mm.
So anyway, my old man's 60th. We go to the first hole, go to tee off. The rule was 1 carver cup per hole.
He
Wow.
brought the carver bucket.
He brought the bucket.
He brought the
Wow.
bucket.
How relaxed were you?
Mate,
And that's what I was like, mate, I'm going to hit him real good today.
hole 3, I was straighter.
The mind is
Wow.
free.
Swear.
You're
Not even
relaxed.
It's
joking.
a
I'm
good
not even
cack.
joking. I was like, mate, it must be the carver.
It has to be.
Yeah,
So relaxed.
I'm back next week. Hit it straight.
straight. That's it.
Those ones.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
Legends.
Appreciate it.